closer to it. In each moment I let it be. I am a garden and I see wind in the clovers and birds sing. I set the song in my heart free. I wanna know what it all means.
So today is very nearly my last day here at Madison Arm Resort, which is where I've been work camping for the past summer. I have today off work, but tomorrow is my very last day of work. I would have left by now because pretty much everything is completely done, and there are still 2 other work camping couples on, and so they've got plenty of people left to finish out the very, very little bit amount of work that's left until the campground can finally close. But the owner, Shigeko, has asked that I stay to take care of 2 very important tasks that she stresses about each year, and that is doing the end of year maintenance on their big Kubota tractor and this large mobile air compressor they have that they use to blow out the water lines. These 2 pieces of equipment the owner holds very dearly, and she just stresses a lot about them being properly maintained and winterized each year, because if either of them were to fail, then it would make her life very difficult. And so I agreed. I was like, yeah, sure, I will personally see to it that these 2 pieces of equipment are maintained and winterized properly. Don't stress about it. I'll handle it. But the problem was that the mobile air compressor has it takes a special type of oil on the compressor side of it that they just don't have. It's like Sigma S460 or something. And so had to order it, and it's taking some time to get in, but it should be in tomorrow. And once it comes in, I'm gonna go pick it up, bring it back, do the maintenance that I still have left, and then that's it. That's my last day, and I'll leave the following day. But like I said, I have the day off, and so until then, I'm gonna take care of some of my own maintenance things around the trailer and the truck. Just, before I set out from here, I want to do a few things, and then after that, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to take out the ATV. I'm going to hit the mountains. There is a 50-inch restricted ATV and dirt bike only trail that I'm really excited to check out. And I just feel like, it's almost my last day here. I'm almost leaving, and there's so many cool trails around here, so I just got to get one more in before I leave. But now, I'm going to enjoy my breakfast. A little egg sandwich. Guys, like the second I woke Sweetie up, she just stood up from her bed, came over and jumped on to my bed. Oh, sweet girl. You're so cute. Are you comfy there, huh? Yeah, you a comfy girl now. What's kind of crazy right now is that the campground is completely empty, and it's a cold morning, but it's completely silent. The only thing I can hear is the honking of geese out by the lake, when usually there's cars driving by. You can hear people over in the campground, you can hear something, but it's just dead quiet now. But the first little bit of maintenance I want to do to the trailer is I'm going to grease the wheel bearings. It's been about a year. Well, maybe it's been not quite a year, but the trailer's just been sitting, and I've got a long trip ahead of me. So, I just want to get these greased. I'm not going to do a full bearing wheel pat or a full repack on the bearings. I am just going to shoot some grease in there though, just to make sure that the bearings are full of grease. In about 2 or 3 months, I'll do a full bearing. God, why is that so hard to say? A full wheel bearing repack. There we go. And what's really nice about these axles, these Dexter axles, is I can just pop this cap off, and behind it is a grease zerk that I can just shoot grease on in there with a grease gun. And so just for a quick, adding grease in, I don't have to jack the trailer up to rotate the wheels around or anything. I can just shoot grease in there real quick. And yeah, that makes life a lot easier. And I did also buy some new rubber caps here because I know 2, maybe 3 of these are ripped, so I figured I'd just get new ones for all of them. And the grease actually doesn't look too bad. It's like a purple color, and I always use like a red and tacky multi-purpose grease for these. So, it's definitely changed color, definitely gotten a little dirty, but it doesn't look awful. And I'm just going until the old grease starts to come out the bottom here, so that I know it's, fully packed with grease now. It's not new grease, like I said, I'm not doing a full repack, but I am really glad I'm doing this because that took quite a bit of grease, close to 10 pumps with the grease gun. Definitely is low on grease and in need of a full repack, but I figured that this is just a good thing. In the meantime, it's better than nothing, right? It's like this saying I've heard, any grease is better than no grease. All right, there we go. One wheel done, on to the rest. Next, I'm gonna get my propane tanks filled up. One of the nice perks about working here is they do sell propane, and the employees get it at cost. So I only have to pay $1.80 per gallon, which is a lot better than what it's going for in town. I think it's $4 to $4.50 a gallon in town. This is only the 3rd time I've had to fill my propane all season, which is kind of cool. I filled it when we got here. Wait, no, I haven't had to fill my tanks up all season. It's a pretty hot summer, so it's not like I use very much propane anyway, but yeah, I filled them when we got here, and now I'm filling them while I leave, but the tanks are pretty much empty. And I just found out that they are shutting the water off to this section of the campground this morning. And so I gotta disconnect from that and fill up my fresh water tank. They blow out the water lines every year all throughout the campground, and they do it in sections. They like slowly close off one part of the campground, then another. And they have to blow those lines out because it gets frigidly cold here during the winter. -40 degrees overnight lows, I've heard, are not uncommon. So yeah, they got to blow all the lines out, and so I'm losing water today, but that's okay. I got a heads up. I can fill up my fresh tank. I'll still have water. And while I've still got water pressure, I also want to change out my anode rod on my water heater tank, because it's been a while since I've done that. So it's definitely it's ready, and I've got a new anode rod ready to go also. And I wanted to do this while I still have water pressure here, because I want to be able to flush this tank out, because, you know, as the anode rods age, they kind of fall apart and leave a lot of their crumbles inside of the tank. So I want to be able to flush it out with the pressure, with the city water pressure. And then I've also got this neat little wand that I can back flush some of that stuff out with too. You know, this anode rod's not that bad, but, you know, I've got a new one, so I'm gonna change it out. And here's that wand I was talking about, just hooks up to the hose. I actually got this on Amazon, and it came with 2 of the anode rods, replacement anode rods, and it was like no more expensive than 2 new anode rods anyway, so I figured why not? It's kind of cool. You can stick it up into the opening there and kind of back flush the tank, hopefully spray out any more of that just junk that builds up from old anode rods. All right, my tank is flushed out nicely, so I'll go ahead and throw on some Teflon tape onto the anode rod's threads here so that it'll make a nice seal. All right, now I got the water heater filling back up, just using the city water pressure before they shut my water off. And yeah, we'll see if I got any leaks coming out of this anode rod. All right, we're looking good there. I'm not seeing any water dribbling down from the threads of the anode rod. What do you think, Sweet Pea? Are we good? She's been my little supervisor. Yeah, you've been watching me on the project. Thanks, Pop. Thanks for making sure I'm doing it right. Now that I'm all disconnected, they started blowing the lines out. They turned the water pressure off to the spigots, and they've got a big mobile compressor, a big Kaiser mobile compressor hooked up to the water line now, and they're just pushing out any extra water in the lines. So they really cranked up the pressure for blowing out these water lines. I'm sure you can hear the hissing. It's really loud, but it's actually kind of perfect timing because I'm gonna head up to the barn and with the truck and do the last little maintenance thing that I want to do before taking the truck and trailer on the long ride to Washington State, and that is greasing up the truck's front steering and suspension. What I love about working on this truck is you can access all of these grease zerks just with the truck sitting on the ground. I don't have to jack it up or anything, which is really nice. You know, I can just pull it into a garage or something like this, clean off the grease zerks, and then fill them up with grease. I've got the 2 ball joints on either side, and then a number of steering grease zerks that I need to fill also. And I do this about every 6 months, so not super often, about twice a year. Just make sure everything is lubricated properly on my steering and suspension. Helga here is a 2004, so yeah, she's still got the old school grease Zerks. And then over on the other wheels, ball joints. If you're not familiar with doing this type of greasing of suspension and steering, if the grease point has a boot like this, so the ball joints and the tie rods will have these boots, you only want to grease it until that boot starts to balloon out and have a bit of pressure to it. And so you can see as I'm adding grease, that should start to balloon out. You can kind of poke it just to make sure there's some pressure. It could take a little more grease. What you don't want to do is over grease it so that the grease starts to push past the seal of this boot, because then you can compromise that seal. But yeah, now it's ballooned out. It's got a bit of pressure to it, so I'm gonna call that good on that one. All right, guys, there we go. The truck's steering and suspension components are lubricated, nice new grease. I really like this method of being able to manually grease those steering and suspension components, because they should last longer than sealed units if they are properly maintained, and I do like maintaining my own stuff. The Raptor here also has a bunch of grease Zerks on its steering and suspension. You can see, it's got manually greasable Zerks all over on the front suspension, and also on the back. It's got Zerks at each pivot point back here too. And yeah, I just really like that because I know everything, if properly maintained, is just gonna last longer. All right, guys, that's enough work for the day. I've gotten everything done that I wanted to before I leave in a couple days. So now I'm gonna go home, change out of these work grungy clothes, come back here, hop on that Raptor, and we're gonna go ride down an awesome trail. So the trail that I'm gonna be riding on with you guys today, I found on this off-roading app on my phone called Onyx, and yeah, it's gonna be about 20 miles. It starts here at Madison Resort, and then there's a stretch of off-roading trail that leads to Highway 20. I'm gonna be riding on a dirt frontage road made for ATVs, side-by-sides, snowmobiles in the winter. And then that connects me with this Lionhead trail. Half of it is forest roads that, Jeeps, vehicles, anything can ride on. But the cool part is the other half is a 50-inch ATV only trail. Well, ATVs and dirt bikes. And so, yeah, 50-inch restricted. And so that part should be really fun. And yeah, I since I'm only here for 2 more days, this is like one of the last chances I have to take this thing out on the trails around here. There are some pretty cool 50-inch trails that I've gone on, and I just had to get one more in before I left because I just love it so much. I've really grown to love my Yamaha Raptor 700 over, just the 3 to 4 weeks that I've owned it. It's only been about a month, but it's just so much fun. And I know a lot of other RVers are like me and have some sort of off-roading machine, whether it's an ATV, dirt bike, dual purpose bike, side-by-side, whatever. It's super common, and I know you guys care about your machines too, and you want to protect them, especially from theft, because these things are actually pretty easy to steal. Just pop it in neutral and someone can just roll it up into the back of their truck, drive off, and they're gone. And so that's where today's sponsor comes in, Monimoto. In the case of a theft situation, the Monimoto 9, which is what I have installed in my ATV here, will not only send your cell phone a push notification, but it will also call your cell phone which is really cool because an actual phone call is a lot harder to miss than just a push notification. And so the device and the key fob are completely wireless, and so to install these and get these set up, you don't have to worry about doing any sort of wiring. It took me only 5 minutes to connect these to the app on my cell phone, and I just sat this down in a cubby inside my ATV, and boom, I was done with installation. Now the way this system works is when the key fob is close to the device here, then it deactivates the alarm, so you can move your ATV, ride it around, do whatever you need to do, and not have to worry about receiving an alarm on your phone. But when this key fob is far away from the device, it automatically arms itself, and if it moves around, is shaken, or if it moves position, because this has GPS tracking, then it will send the alarm to your phone, and then you can begin using the GPS tracking to locate exactly where your machine is at. I'm gonna show you guys how this works in real time. I'm gonna go ahead and put this device right back. I keep it under the seat in my ATV, and I'm gonna walk this key fob just like out into the forest there, set it down so you can see, you know, they're far away from each other, and yeah, we'll get this thing to activate the alarm. All right, I took the key fob over 100 feet away, which is the distance it needs to be. I'm gonna set my phone right here. I'm gonna move around the ATV, and we should get an alarm.
Your Monimoto device. Your Monimoto device is now in alarm. If you did not trigger the alarm, please check your Monimoto application and your motorcycle or another protected asset.
Pretty awesome. And I've also got the push notification here. Alarm, Raptor is moving. Location to be delivered in a few moments. And yeah, we can go into the app, and you can see it says alarm. And from here, we can begin GPS tracking right from the app. It's a pretty awesome anti-theft device. I feel a lot safer knowing that, you know, my ATV has this on it and is protected from theft. So if you want to protect your toys, your cars, your RVs, trailers, whatever it is with the Monimoto 9, you can save 10% for the next 30 days only using promo code FADEUNBOUND at checkout through the link in the video description below. You get 2 months of SIM card subscription for free, and then after that, it's only $4 a month, you guys. That is really cheap insurance for an anti-theft device as powerful as this one. Big thanks to Monimoto for being a sponsor of this video. Now let's go on this ride. Well, I've reached the peak of this trail. I'm pretty sure it's all downhill from here. I've just been climbing and climbing and climbing, and I'm around 8,800 feet in elevation. I'm so glad I decided to bring a sweatshirt and a beanie, my gloves, because dang is it cold up here, and it's so windy. I wanted to fly the drone a lot more, but it's just so windy up here. I can't. It's not safe. I don't want that thing to lose control and crash out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, man, this trail is so cool. Again, it's called the Lionhead, and that's what's right behind me is the Lionhead. I don't really know why it's called that. Maybe from some angles it looks like a lion's head. I don't really know. I don't see it, but it's it's cool, man. I really love these 50-inch restricted trails. They feel kind of like a hiking trail, but you're on an ATV, if that makes any sense, because you're like, you know, I'm way out into the forest, and it feels like I'm really, really far out, just like it does when you're hiking. It's just I'm able to cover a lot more ground a lot faster being on the ATV. It's super cool. I'm in like the subalpine areas. It's, yeah, almost 9,000 feet. It's beautiful. I just love it up here. I love exploring the national forest, and having this ATV lets me do it in a whole nother way that I've never experienced before. Like, could you imagine having to, okay, yes, there are some people out there that can hike 20 miles, 15 miles, no problem, because that's about how far I am into the national forest right now. But I'll admit it, that person just isn't me. I can do 5-8 miles and that's fine, but 20 miles is, I'm covering well over 20 miles today. And yeah, that's a bit much for me in a day. I'm not that hardcore, but it's really cold, it's really windy, so I'm just gonna cruise through the rest of this trail, enjoy it myself, and I'll see you guys back at camp. I know I said I'd see you back at camp, but while I was riding out, I came across this bulletin board, National Forest bulletin board, and the only thing that's on it are these 3 posters making it very clear that this is bear country and you need to be really careful. Mountain biking, it says, is a high-risk activity due to bears, and you should carry bear spray, which I have. Ro made me promise that if I, went out here alone on the ATV, that I'd take bear spray, so got that. So there you go, Ro, you don't have to worry. I mean, we are just outside of Yellowstone National Park. There are grizzly bears there, so there are certainly grizzly bears in this area also. We're only 10 miles from the entrance. Actually, I'm quite a bit closer to the entrance to Yellowstone than where we're at work camping. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I also wanted to share this view with you guys. Isn't that beautiful? That's Hebgen Lake right behind me. It is the reservoir that Madison Arm Resort is right off of, the campground that we are work camping at this season. And wow, man, this is what it's all about. These incredible views. Like, look at that right there. That's the fire lookout tower that I rode to in the very first video that I announced to you guys that I had gotten this Yamaha Raptor ATV. Look how much lower it is in elevation from where I'm at right now. Down on the ground, it looks, the ground, down near Hebgen Lake, that hill looks huge, but I'm so much higher than it, and I've actually come down a lot in elevation from Lionhead, so I don't know, man, this is just so cool. This is what it's all about. I love exploring the national forest. I just love this so much. But all right, guys, now I'll see you back at camp. Oh, thanks, sweetie. Well, I'm back at camp and it's late, night fell, but thankfully shortly before it got too dark, I was able to get the ATV loaded up in the back of the truck. So that's all ready to go for when I leave tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day of work. I'm gonna get done the little bit of work that I still need to do, and then I'm out of here, guys. It's gonna be kind of weird traveling again after being stationary for 5 months working at this campground. I think Sweetie's probably excited though. Sweet girl, you excited to hit the road again? Huh? We're gonna go see Thomas and Amanda. What? Yeah? You know what that means? Yeah? You wanna go see Thomas and Amanda? What? Well, come here. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I really hope you like this kind of day in the life video where you were with me for, you know, just wow, she's being very demanding for pets. Where you were with me for, you know, just like the various tasks I needed to do to prepare for travel tomorrow, and then, you know, going on a nice little adventure. But my name's David, this is Sweetie, and this is Fate Unbound. Thanks again for watching, guys, and if you liked it, please consider subscribing. It would really help us out. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Yeah, you saying goodbye too, big girl?